Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Epoxy, back with episode 2 of Skyrim Special Edition Mods Weekly. If you've never been here for this series is where I cover some of the best mods of the week for Skyrim Special Edition. And I also have the same series, but for Fallout 4 that goes up on Mondays. Now, if you know me well, you'll know I typically am a little bit late on uploading. This video is quite a bit late. In fact, to explain to you how I'm typically late on uploading, this is the video that broke my don't miss a day of uploading goal for 2017 already. Which makes me hate myself a little bit, but to be fair, I had little control over some of the technical difficulties this week brought to me. But you came here for the mods, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and say the line that you all wait for every single week. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Alright, so we're going to start off this week with K ENB Pure Light Special Edition Work in Progress by K, aka Kiyokushi no Yama. This ENB is currently in alpha version 3.0, so please keep that in mind before thrashing the mod author a new one. Currently, this is one of those ENBs that looks amazing in some screenshot scenarios. Yet in most cases and in gameplay, I'm gonna be honest on this one. It looks like someone is vaping directly into my eyes and blowing smoke in my eyes, and also rubbed Vaseline on the screen while they were at it. I feel like this ENB has the color and feel in the right place, but the effects causing the over blurry look, it makes it feel like you're constantly in a sauna. So I don't believe this was really intended, and if this change is made, I'll definitely be making a standalone video on this ENB. Now I understand, it's an ENB, so before you respond with anything, I'd like to note that I can run all other available ENBs that I've tested at 60 FPS. This ENB drops my FPS to as low as 19 in some locations, so unless you have the know-how to remove the blur yourself and have a absolute monster, mind-blowing machine of a rig, I have to say that in its current state, because of both performance and being too blurry, I'd say for now, this ENB is unplayable. So now you may be wondering, why the hell are you showcasing it? Well, the reason why I'm showcasing it is to show you all that this ENB exists, because this mod author obviously has the skill to improve this ENB by taking a look at their past ENB presets for the old Skyrim, which look absolutely phenomenal, and has also made it quite clear that it's in alpha as of right now and is going through many changes. I was making a few jokes in this video, but I honestly believe that this could be one of the best ENBs for Skyrim Special Edition as soon as he makes a few more tweaks. Next up, we've got Heavy Armor New Weapons by Private Eye, a absolutely mind-blowingly massive weapon collection to expand upon the available weaponry in Skyrim. Over 100 new lore-friendly weapon types, and also expands some of the more limited sets which don't have their own versions of some of the vanilla weapon types, such as Silver or Forsworn not having a dagger, for example. So this mod introduces a lot of different new weapon types. Club, the barbarian's weapon, best described as a weaker version of the mace and is mostly used by bandits, Forsworn, and Falmer. Halberd, which functions as a longer version of the battle axe. The halberd swings slightly faster but also deals less damage and is mostly used by guards, stormcloaks, dawnguard, and bandits. Hatchet, which is essentially a smaller variation of the normal war axe. This means that the hatchet has less reach and damage but can be wielded blindingly fast and is mostly used by vampires and Falmer. Long mace for those warriors that like to swing with two-handed blunt weapons but think the warhammer is a bit too heavy. This weapon bridges the gap between the warhammer and battle axe and is mostly used by guards, stormcloaks, dawnguard, bandits, and draugr. Maul, and the description is, want the destructive power of a two-hander without forgoing the extra defense of a shield? The Maul is the most damaging one-handed weapon, but also the slowest, and it's mostly used by guards, stormcloaks, and bandits. Quarterstaff, the fastest two-handed weapon in the game. Quarterstaffs may seem weak for two-handed weapons, but they allow the player to attack and block much faster and are mostly used by vampires, Alakir, and Silverhand. Short Spear, the short spear is a one-handed version of the spear, having the longest reach of any one-handed weapon. It's useful for people who like to keep distance to their enemy and is mostly used by guards, stormcloaks, imperials, and bandits. Short sword, which is a perfect option for those players looking for a compromise between the speed of the dagger and the power of the sword, and is mostly used by bandits, vampires, and draugrs. Spear slash glaive. The spear has the highest range of any weapon in the game. The glaive is similar to the spear, but does slightly more damage, and it's mostly used by guards, stormcloaks, imperials, and bandits. And last, for the new types, is the trident. Tridents can dish out quite a bit of damage, but their range is shorter than that of the common spear and is mostly used by bandits, Alakir, and Silverhand. And of course, as I said, this mod expands upon some of the limited sets of weapons in addition to them receiving the previously mentioned new types. Ancient Nord received its own dagger, mace, and warhammer. Forsworn received its own battle axe, dagger, and warhammer. Silver received its own dagger, mace, and warhammer, and Imperial received its own dagger, mace, and warhammer. So yes, this mod adds an unbelievable amount of new weapons to the game and expands it to the amount I believe the base game should have had for weapons. This will most definitely be one of those mods I keep installed for playing through the game normally, as it expands upon one of the more weak sections of the game, and I believe this mod stays true to the game yet adds much more to the gameplay and weapon selection. Weapon selection is a big thing to me, and this mod supplies me with it. However, this mod sadly isn't perfect. Sadly, this mod does not include any custom animations and uses the vanilla animations from other weapons, and in a lot of cases, it makes the animations for weapons not make any sense, especially for the spears and tridents. Not exactly weapons I would swing around like a greatsword. It kind of makes this amazing mod very immersion breaking when animations just simply don't work and don't make sense for a weapon. But even with the downside of this mod using vanilla animations, I would still say it's a must-have mod for anyone looking to expand their amount of lore-friendly weapons in Skyrim. Now, that was a massive mod, but we have another pretty large mod for this week. Summermyst, Enchantments of Skyrim by N.A. Yon, which adds 95 brand new enchantments to the game. And not only are the enchantments balanced and integrated seamlessly into the item system, it also makes improvements to the vanilla enchantments as well. I was honestly quite surprised with how well balanced and immersive this mod was. It fits so well into the game, I had to ensure I wasn't forgetting whether or not the enchantment I was recording was for the vanilla game. Wouldn't have been possible for me to even get them all myself in time for Mods Weekly. So instead, I'll just show you a few added by the mod that I was able to get to spawn while I was playtesting the mod, and then I'll leave the rest for you to discover by either downloading the mod or checking out the massive list on the Nexus description for the mod. As for the ones I got to playtest with, we'll go ahead and start with the weapon enchantments. Frost damage piercing on an ebony dagger of black ice. Black ice deals X points of unresistible frost damage to health and stamina. Dim vision on an ebony warhammer of shadows. Sneaking is twice as effective against the target for X seconds. Threshold throw on an elven bow of catapulting. Target gets a stacking X point curse for X seconds and is launched when this exceeds its health. Kill streak on an elven mace of extermination. Deals X magic damage multiplied by 5 on the next hit after this kills a target. And insult on a glass mace of indignities deals X magic damage and temporarily changes the target's name. And to be honest, the guard has to be kind of a fool to fight the ultimate dragonborn in Skyrim. But anyways, with that out of the way, for armor enchantments that I actually got to playtest with, increased experience, which does exactly what you'd expect. Magic find, X% chance to loot an additional magic item from people you kill. Fortify weapon enchants. Weapon and staff enchantments are X% better and doubled on a power attack. And last is deep breath, X% chance to reduce the cooldown of your shouts to 2 seconds. These are just a select few of the 95 enchantments from the mod collection, and this is definitely a mod I'll have to do a standalone video on sometime, as it's a great addition of enchantments. Heck, it's going to take me a long time to even get all of these enchantments to do the standalone video, but what I love about this mod is it makes the enchantments more diverse and useful than ever in the standard vanilla Skyrim, whilst also fixing and balancing those of the vanilla game. But for our last mod for this week, it's yet again another reminder of why I'll never be as amazing as the almighty Eleonora. Beginner's Shack in Riverwood by, you guessed it, Eleonora is of course yet another breath-taking player home in the world of Skyrim. a cabin-esque player home that greets you just before the entrance of Riverwood. It even has its own map marker for quick, fast travel access. Sadly, Ellie had to give it a damn complicated name to pronounce. Vyoxy. I honestly don't know. However you like me to pronounce it. So I just lost all caring for the way I speak. Congrats, YouTube. Fuck you. Some of you may think this looks a little bit too small for a player home that's worth downloading, but again, we are showcasing an Eleonora player home, so yes, it's feature and storage packed. Probably has more features and storage than some of your mansion mods, to be honest. Outside, it features all of your blacksmithing needs with a tanning rack, workbench, anvil, smelter, grindstone, and for how little space this takes up, a whole lot of damn storage options, as well as your gardening needs with 3 planting soils at the front outside the house. The inside, however, is where things get damn interesting. Not only does it come with an enchanting table, alchemy lab, bed, and storage for everything you can imagine fitting in this small little place, and more, all of which are custom storages, by the way. So for example, your potions will look like potions on a shelf. That's pretty awesome. But it also has every other thing you could possibly need in a player home. It has a storage specifically for dragon masks. I think that should give you sort of an idea of how detailed the storage is in this small yet storage and feature-packed player home. And hell, it has a mannequin. How do you manage to find a way to nicely fit a mannequin in between all of this? It mentally breaks my mind. I can't even speak right now. Thankfully, Eleonora knows how to fit a lot in small places, yet make it better than anything else. The clutter and detail work by Eleonora always manages to blow my mind, mod after mod, and once again, this has blown my mind. Everything you could possibly need confined in a small place so you don't have to run for 5 minutes to find your laboratory in your mansion mod. No, you turn around and take a few steps and voila. I'm going to be saving so much time, I just realized, when I'm doing playthroughs in Skyrim because of this mod, because everything is just right there. You just have everything at your access in Riverwood, one of the beginning locations, and hey, it's all in a small little confined area where you just gotta turn around and you basically have access to it. How awesome is that? So what better mod is there to give the 4 words? Eleonora's Beginner Shack in Riverwood, aka Vyoxy, thanks Eleonora for that name by the way, is mod of the week for this episode of Skyrim Special Edition Mods Weekly. Hopefully you all enjoyed the awesome mods showcase this week. If you did, be sure to download them and give them a kind little endorsement. Also, I've got something pretty damn cool for all of you if you managed to stick with me until this point of the video. Loot Crate was kind enough to give me an affiliate link and code for all of you to get 10% off your Loot Crate orders at lootcrate.com. Sweet loot, sweet life, sweet discounts. And hey, if you want a way or have ever wanted a way to support the channel while getting some awesome loot at the same time, this is the way you can go about doing so, just saying. And you know, if you want to see some more awesome mods released for Skyrim SE every single week, please consider smacking that like button down below. And hey, while you're at it, and you do want to see these awesome mods every week, and you haven't already, maybe you should, subscribe to join the good fight. It would be super greatly appreciated, as always. But anyways, until next time, this is Apaxi, signing off.